In just a few minutes each day, you can prevent hours of frustration and delay down the road. Sound too good to be true? Nope, it's actually possible. Stay tuned as we dig in. If you want your day to go smoothly, you have to make sure that your cargo stays secure. If you don't, you might find yourself wasting a lot of time cleaning up the mess. To properly secure your load, you need to understand three things. We can summarize them with the word MAP: movement, arrangement, and product. First of all, movement. You need to know whether something is going to shift or fall over while you're driving. The most likely direction that product will move is forward. This could happen if you step on the brake hard. The second most likely direction the product could move is side to side. This could happen when you make a turn. The least likely direction that product will move is backward. However, it's still a possibility if you back into a dock too hard or if you start moving while you're on a hill. The second thing to understand is arrangement. You need to make sure that the pallets are arranged so that the load is balanced. You want approximately the same amount of weight on each side of the truck so that the truck doesn't lean or tip over. The last thing is the product. Heavy product is more likely to shift. A tall stack of product is more likely to tip or fall. A pallet stacked high with heavy product is especially vulnerable to falling over. These are the pallets that you need to be most careful to secure properly. So I have a load on my truck and I have some pallets that might tip over. What am I going to use to keep them from falling? My favorite is a hydraulic load bar. They're easy to use and they do a great job of holding pallets in place when you use them correctly. To use the bar, we'll first adjust it down here at the bottom, up or down if necessary to fit the truck. Then I'll pump this handle until the top foot reaches the ceiling, and then keep pumping approximately 10 pumps until the bar makes a squeaking sound like that. At this point, the bar is tight, going to hold the load in place. To release it, push the red button and push up on the bar. That will release the hydraulic load bar. You can also use these bars horizontally. Again, you're going to adjust the bar to fit properly between the walls of the truck, put it in place, hold it against one wall, and then use the pump handle to pump the bar out till it reaches the other wall. Then pump it again approximately 10 times until the bar squeaks. Another option for load securement is a non-hydraulic load bar or a locking load bar. These will also do a great job of holding your pallet in place as long as you use them correctly. First of all, set it up here by the pallet. I'm going to push this little latch up and then flip the handle all the way up to release the top part so it'll slide. I'm going to slide it up so it touches the ceiling and then just pull it back a little bit. Adjust it to where it grabs into the cogs of the handle, then pull the handle down and squeeze it until it latches beneath the little catch up here. Make sure that the bar is tight and the pallet is secure. To release the bar, we squeeze the handle in, push the latch up, flip the handle up, and the bar is free. And again, just like with the hydraulic bars, we can also use this bar horizontally. You're going to adjust it to fit the truck, pull it in tight, latch it. You do have to be careful with these bars that you don't set them too tight. I've actually broken the wall of a truck by setting one of these bars too tight. So make sure that you adjust it properly. The third option for securing your load is a strap. Now these are great for cooler totes or light, taller pallets. To use the strap, you're going to need E-track on the walls like this truck has. I'll pull back on this little latch slide it up into the track, swing the bottom of the clip down in, tug on it, make sure that it is latched in place. Next, bring it on around the pallet, pull the little latch back, raise it up into the track, let the bottom swing in, drop it down, release the latch. Next, I'll just take the end of this strap here and pull it until the strap is lightly snugged, and then tighten the ratchet until the strap is snug on the pallet. You do have to be careful with this, that you don't pull it too tight, because you can crush the corners of the pallet and damage product with the strap. To release it, all you have to do is pull back the catch right here, flip the handle all the way back, and it will release the strap. And then we just reverse the procedure, pull back the latch, lift up, and the clip comes right out of the track. When you're finished with a strap, it's important that you store it correctly so that it doesn't cause problems like creating a tripping hazard or making something that a pallet's going to catch on. You can clip them into the E-track on the wall of the truck out of the way and tighten it in place. But the other method is to wrap them up and put them in a crate in the truck or up in the cab of the truck. Pallet jacks are another load securement tool you might not think about. However, because an electric jack has an electric brake on it, it actually makes a great tool for securing pallets. There are a couple of things you do need to pay attention to. First of all, you want to make sure that the pallet jack is tight up against the pallet so that the product won't rock or tip backwards. Also, make sure that the floor under the jack is dry so that the jack itself doesn't slip or move. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're at the warehouse getting ready to leave. It's easy to just shove your jack on the truck and go. But if you take the time now to secure your load, it will save you a lot of frustration later. Remember the map and use it to guide you as you check your load. Look for tall pallets behind short pallets. They can tip forward. Look for tall pallets beside short pallets. They can tip sideways. Look for tall, heavy pallets in front of short pallets because they can tip backwards. Look for pallets with nothing beside them. Make sure the load is balanced. Rearrange the pallets if necessary. And make sure the load is secure at the back of the truck. Whatever it takes, make sure that you are happy with the load before you leave. Once you leave the warehouse, the load is your responsibility. If a pallet tips over and product breaks because you saw an unsecured pallet and did nothing, that's your fault. Sometimes it's impossible for you to check the entire load. We don't expect you to be able to see whether the front pallet on a fully loaded 53-foot trailer is properly secured. But if you can see a problem with your load, you do need to fix it before you leave the warehouse. One final thought, make sure that you have enough securement devices for the entire day. For example, if you're picking up product from a vendor, make sure that you have enough load bars to hold it in place. Every truck or trailer needs a minimum of 3 load bars to properly secure the load, and in many cases, you'll need more than that. As you go through your day, your load is going to change and you will have to pay attention how your truck is loaded. For example, if you take a pallet off the truck, you must make sure that the load is still balanced and that nothing will tip into that spot. If you take product out of a cooler tote, you need to make sure the door flap is secure so that nothing falls out. If you pick up empty crates and bottles, you need to keep them secure so the bottles don't break. This is even more important if you have milk or other product that is returned. If you pick up product from a vendor, you must keep the load balanced, make sure that pallets won't tip over, and be able to access any product still to be delivered. Don't leave stuff sitting loose on the floor of the truck. stack it on a pallet, or use a load bar to secure it. It's easy to neglect load securement as you go through the day, especially if you're only driving a short distance to the next stop. But things can happen very quickly. I've broken unsecured milk bottles while driving around the block. You think, oh, it'll be okay, but it won't be. Take a moment to do the job right so that you don't have to clean up a mess. When you get back to the warehouse, make sure you put everything back where it belongs. If your truck has load bars assigned to it, the best place to leave them is overhead, right below the door track. Make sure to leave a little space so that the door doesn't hit the bars when it opens and closes. Also, make sure the handles aren't hanging down where totes or tall pallets will hit them. If you're not tall enough to put the load bars overhead, just leave them on the floor inside the truck along the wall. If you took straps or load bars along that you don't normally carry in the truck, put them back in the proper storage area of the warehouse. Load bars do break sometimes. The good news is that it's easy to fix them, so make sure to let the lead driver know right away. Broken bars will lead to broken product, so don't keep trying to use them. If the lead driver isn't able to work on the bar right away, ask them where to put it. Don't put broken load bars with working load bars, and don't leave them sitting in random places in the warehouse. I know. You were hoping for a secret time-saving trick that was more glamorous and exciting. But that's the thing about delivery work. Often the things that help you the most are really kind of boring. But hey, boring is good when it means that you're not cleaning spilled tea and broken glass out of the truck. Start by remembering MAP: movement, arrangement, and product. Watch for pallets that are susceptible to movement and make sure they're secure. Make sure the pallets are arranged correctly so that the load is balanced. Look at what product is on your pallets and make sure that the pallets stacked high with heavy product are well secured. Take the time every day to make sure your load is secure before you start your route. This is where the magic happens, and this is where 30 seconds can save you 30 minutes of cleaning up a mess. As you go through your day, keep your load secure. Watch for pallets that could tip over because you moved another pallet. Make sure that picked up product is secured. And don't lose your load bars or straps. When you get back to the warehouse, put things back where they belong and make sure that any damaged or malfunctioning securement tools are removed from service so they don't cause problems for someone else. All right, that's it for today. Keep those loads tight, and I'll see you in our next training.